Hello and welcome back to Care's Book Corner. Here I am again in the book corner of my room. This is my second time recording this video because the first time my phone said it was out of storage and I was like, girl, what do you mean I'm out of storage? But it stopped recording midway through and I didn't realize it. So I filmed the whole video and half of it did not record.
3, 2, 1.
Anyway, I am going to be talking about hockey romance books. Because I started color coordinating my last couple of videos, I was like, okay, I'll just kind of keep the trend going. And so I am wearing blue. I feel like blue is pretty hockey to me. I don't know why. I guess hockey's cold, blue's cold. I don't know how my logic worked on that one. It was either this or white. And don't expect color coordination for all of my videos because one, only have so many colored shirts, but two, the amount of brain power it takes to coordinate, my brain doesn't work like that. I'm not that organized, so that's not gonna happen very often. But because I am now a puck bunny, after reading a couple of hockey books, this video deserves some color coordination. I am fully embracing and stepping into my puck bunny era, and I am not ashamed of it. I feel like being a puck bunny has negative connotations, and I fully embrace it. I love me a good hockey player, which is why I decided to read a bunch of hockey romances. So without further ado, we'll just get right into the books that I read. As a forewarning, I don't recommend all of these books. These are just the books that I read. So the first book that I read was Offside. This is what got me into reading hockey romances. I saw a reel on Instagram, like one of those reels that tells you like high level what the book is about, and then has like a quote, and the quote was, "She looks so perfect that something inside me broke." That's a good line. I'm gonna read this book. I would rate this book a 3.5 or 3.75 out of 5. I like this book. I genuinely did. And like I said, this is what got me into reading hockey romances in the first place. But this book was very smutty and very spicy, which is not typically the type of books that I like to go for. I want a true connection between the characters. I want nice witty banter over the spice. But if you like spice, this book was like basically 50% spice, so it might be good for you. It's a college hockey romance book where main female character gets broken up with on her birthday by the captain of her school's hockey team. Then she goes and dates the captain of the rival hockey team. So it's kind of like a forbidden love in a sense, because like technically it's rival school, but it's really not that serious. Like I said, I like this book. It was a very quick read for me. It was cute. I mean, I guess that's all you really need from a hockey romance. The next book that I read was The Captain. This book I rated a 4 out of 5. This book, if you watched my last vlog, is the book that made me cry. I was sitting there and tears were streaming down my face and I was like, wow, when did I become that kind of human? This book, in my opinion, a lot cuter than Offside. There was more connection. This book is a fake dating, slow burn. When I say slow burn, it was a slow burn, but it made them coming together so much sweeter. I personally like this book better because, like I said, I like to feel the connections between the characters. I like to know who the characters are as humans, and this book really provided that. I think that this book, the characters were their own people first, had their own personality, they had their own friends, they had their own lives. I liked how this book had the characters supporting each other's lives, and I don't have any real complaints about this book. I feel like it was cute. I liked how the characters had more depth. My only complaint about this book is that the main guy's character name is Cord. It's a fine name. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And then I found out that his name was short for Conrad, and I was like, no, okay, now I don't like it. Because how does that make sense? I see where the lines were drawn. Like, just call him Conrad. I digress. Overall, this book was very cute. Take a shot of water every time I say cute in this video because you will be very hydrated by the end of it. I feel like the characters in this book supported each other and their dreams outside of the relationship, which is always a good thing. Would this even be a hockey romance video if it didn't feature the deal? I think not. If you Google hockey romance, this book will show up on every list. I rated the deal a 4.25 or a 4.5 out of 5. This book is like the captain's smarter and older sister who's really been through it a little bit, but she's better because of it. I liked this book a lot better, and this is gonna say a lot about me because it had trauma. I get it. I get what that says about me, but I just feel like that made the characters a little more real, added a little more depth to the story. What can I say? I like pain. I'm a masochist, I guess. Hence why I start crying all the time. This book is a like enemies to lovers, academic tutor, kind of fake dating type book this has been said, and I'm not the first one to say it. If you've watched One Tree Hill and you like Nathan and Haley's relationship, this book is that, almost. The vibes are very similar, but I just feel like these characters had a lot more depth to them than other hockey books that I've read. It wasn't just like the guy had a very bad father and the girl had a strange relationship with her family. Like, there was actual meat and bones to it. I would read the trigger warnings before reading this book because of the backstory of both of the characters. It said a lot more than your typical like hockey romance book where it's like she's dating the captain of the hockey team and they didn't know each other before because she was not popular and he was popular, but now that he met her they fell in love and now they're dating. Like, there's more to the story behind just that. In terms of spiciness, there was some spice to it, but it wasn't like overwhelmingly just spice. Other books were very just like 50% spice and the rest of it was like storyline, but this was more like 30% spice and the rest of it was storyline. At the end of this book, not everything was tied up with a nice little bow. I really like that because in life that's what happens. Like, not everything is going to be perfect, not everything is going to be concluded, you know, like especially with the past trauma that these characters have experienced, a lot of that stays with you. That was the deal. Out of all the books that I read, this one is the one I rated highest. It is honestly your classic hockey romance book. Like, you're not gonna find anything more recommended in this niche. I finished the deal pretty quickly. It was good, it was cute, it was everything that you could ask for from a hockey book. And then after I read my favorite hockey book, I read my least favorite hockey book, and I am talking about A Lie for a Lie. This book actually shows up on a decent amount of lists when you search up like hockey romance books. So I rated this book a 3 out of 5, and it's not that I didn't like it, but I didn't like it, and it was kind of disappointing. After reading the meet cute of this book, I was like, I should love this book. It has my ideal meet cute. For those who don't know, like, my ideal meet cute is meeting someone at the airport, falling in love, like taking a trip together. Like, that's my ideal meet cute. This book had that, and I literally was like, I'm gonna love this book because the premise of the meet cute is so good. And this book, by that on its own, should have been right up my alley, but I feel like this book might have been in an alley, but on a different block, not near any alley that I would have walked down. I read this book and I was like, I don't like it. The tropes in this book, it's a second chance romance, accidental pregnancy, insta-love in a sense. I personally don't like the accidental pregnancy trope. I also don't like the insta-love trope. Like I said, I want to feel the connection between the characters. In this book, when I talk about smut, this book, I did not feel a single connection between the characters when they first met. And I also didn't feel a connection between the characters besides the fact that they just thought they were pretty and there was just like sexual tension, and I was like, okay, great. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, maybe it's just like the main girl character that I didn't like because she was too sunshiny for me. And like I said, that says a lot about me. I just don't like happy people, apparently. I just felt no attachment to these characters. I didn't feel attachment between the characters. I literally was just like, I just need to read this book to finish it. The next hockey book that I read was Like I Never Said. This book is a young adult book, but it was so cute. That's another shot for you of water. This book is like a best friends to lovers, fake dating, hockey, romance, and this book gave me Love and Other Word vibes, but I'm not saying that I like it as much as Love and Other Words because I only rated this a 4 stars. The vibes were very similar. I still like Love and Other Words better, and this doesn't really compare in terms of like the witty banter and like all of that stuff. It is very cute, but it is very young adulty. Although I will say that for a young adult book, this book seemed more mature than the previous book that I mentioned. I would say I only rated this a 4 stars, even though like I don't really have any real complaints about it because it was a very safe book. Given the tropes, you can basically predict how the book is going to go. Didn't really color too far out of the lines. It was very safe, predictable, but if you're looking for a very light read, you'll get that from this book. The last hockey romance book that I'm going to talk about today is Always Only You. This book surprised me. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason why I read this book was because I was like, you know, I just wanted a sunshine male character in a hockey romance, and that's exactly what this book gave me. This book is a grumpy sunshine trope, but it's grumpy her, sunshine him. This book I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to. At the beginning, I thought it was kind of Wattpad-y. I was just like I'm kind of cringing. For example, the chapters have like song titles, and like that is something I've definitely seen on Wattpad. But then I started reading more, and I was like, I actually kind of like this book. Like, I feel an attachment to the characters. At the beginning, I thought the girl just made being grumpy her personality, and I was like, okay, we get it. You're fitting the trope. But then you learn why she is the way that she is, and that she's neurodivergent, and I feel like it really helped with the storyline. I appreciated how the author didn't make her being neurodivergent the whole plot. It was just a part of who she was. It wasn't her whole personality, which I feel like sometimes in books that is what happens. They just make that the whole plot point. I appreciated how she was represented in this book. As for the guy character, the more I read, the more I was like, this guy's actually kind of endearing. Like, he was nerdy, wholesome, protective, cared about family. What else could you ask for, you know? Overall, it was very cute. It was exactly what I wanted. The author who wrote The Kiss Quotient left a good review of Always Only You. So if you like The Kiss Quotient, you might like Always Only You. I haven't read The Kiss Quotient, but I feel like the author, like, recommending the book says something. That was the last hockey romance book that I've read, and I'm good for now. I read 6 of them. I don't really feel the need to read any more for now, at least. Maybe later in my life I will. If you read The Deal by Elle Kennedy, you will have read basically almost all the hockey books that there are. It's all very similar. I would skip this if you're gonna read any of these books, because this will literally, like I said, this is literally every hockey romance book. There's a girl, likely named Hannah, who's just like, not like other girls. She sings. She's kind of cowardly. And then, like, the guy character is caveman-like, growls a lot, likely has a first name or last name of Carter, who has a father who's abusive and prone to blackmail. Like, that's most of the hockey books I read summed up in, like, a couple sentences. But with that said, I did read 6 of them. If insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, I guess I'm insane. But we knew that already. I'm gonna start taking singing lessons. I'm already a coward, so I already got that one checked. And then I'm just gonna go and change my name to Hannah. I too will find myself a hockey player. That's that. I am going to go consume other types of literature now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a like, leave your comments down below. If you want me to read any other books or if you have any other ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Okay, I'm getting a call, but I don't want to answer it right now, so I'm not gonna. I hope you heard that. That was my elbow. I did not want to show you my tongue. I just wanted to make grunting noises because a lot of hockey players apparently grunt as well.